Hi, welcome to Week in Review, where we look at some of the news making headlines and catch up on some of the stuff that's coming up in the days ahead. Visitor this week that we haven't had before, Nathan Poppy's with us. Of course, we have our old friend from sports, Ryan Sharp, and our oldest friend, Don Mecoy. I'm Phil O'Connor, the News Enterprise Director here. A lot of stuff going on this week. Let's start with some of the fun stuff. Nathan, you're here to talk a little bit about what is going on in Oklahoma City for the holidays. So what can people waste their time doing this weekend?
There's plenty of fun stuff to do. Devon Ice Rink, always a good time. $12, gets you some skates, gets you over there by Nick's, which they have some excellent burgers if you haven't had those before. Always a good time. If that's not extreme enough for you, you can always go snow tubing down at the ballpark.
The weather's going to cooperate because it's getting really cold.
Yeah, it'll be extra slick, I'm sure. But if you want to stay indoors, I'd suggest going down to the Oklahoma City Museum of Art. They've got their new Sacred Words exhibit, which is a little bit medieval, a little bit new school. They've got these illuminated manuscripts that they're these painted illuminations that interpret Bible passages, basically. And that's running until January 8th. And from what I've seen, those are really pretty. So that'd be something to stay warm doing. And then they've also got a Wes Anderson film festival coming towards the end of the year. I don't know if you guys are big Wes Anderson fans. I'm sure you like Bill Murray at least.
Sure.
Okay. But they're playing all of Wes Anderson's films starting December 21st and running to the new year. So,
sounds great.
Yeah.
Even just jumping in the car, which we did the other night. I'm fairly new to Oklahoma City, and just driving down through Bricktown was really nice. A lot of lights out. They really do a nice job of decorating down there and stuff.
Yeah.
If you haven't been by Devon Tower, it's also really pretty. A lot of decorations out there. A lot of nice places downtown. Just driving around, a lot of lights to see, a lot of good stuff to take in. All right, let's talk about another fun thing that's going on, the Thunder, although we were in the midst of a little bit of a stumble right now, apparently.
They had a little bit of a rough week. Losses to Portland and Utah, I think by a combined 39 points, I think. A little bit expected. You lost kind of your second leading scorer in Victor Oladipo, who went down with a pretty gruesome-looking wrist injury last weekend. They say it's just a sprain, so he should be back pretty quick. He was out singing Christmas carols at a local hospital yesterday. He did have a brace on the wrist. He's still listed as day-to-day, so I think he's going to be back. But they're in the mode of relying on Russell Westbrook to get a triple-double every game. I think they're 9-3 in games where he gets a triple-double, and then about the opposite of that in games that he doesn't. He's getting a little bit tired of being asked about it, of course, just like he is with most things. But that's kind of the mode that they're in right now. They need him to score a lot. They need him to assist a lot. They need him to rebound a lot because they just don't have a lot coming from other places.
So you mentioned he's getting tired of what happened there? Was that in a press conference where he brought that up?
It was yesterday. He got asked about that issue of them not winning if he doesn't get a triple-double. And in typical Russ fashion, he says, I don't care. He says, I don't care about if I get a triple-double or not. So I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of getting asked about it. He had some rather choice words about getting asked about it. But essentially, his beef is that he plays the same way every game. If he gets it, great. If he doesn't, that's fine too. If they happen to win when he gets one, great. If they happen to win and he doesn't, that's fine too. He's just tired of talking about it, getting asked about it.
Well, he's certainly a guy that's transforming the Thunder approach on the court. We've got some stuff that's also transforming the look of our downtown. A lot of stuff happening on the west end, down at the end of Film Row. Don, what's going on down there?
Well, Steve Lackmeyer, who covers downtown development, recently wrote about a project that's starting next week, and I think is going to be done next year, basically surrounding the 21C Hotel, which has been a real success story. And we're talking about, this is the old Film Row area. This is just west. If you know where Devon Tower and the Marriott Gardens are, if you go directly west on Sheridan several blocks, you'll be there. And they're going to build housing, there's going to be commercial development, and there's also going to be a music venue surrounding three sides of the 21C Hotel, which, by the way, if you got people coming in from out of town for the holidays, 21C is a great place to take people out of town. They have a 24-hour museum in the lobby that's really interesting, and there's a restaurant there too. So it's a great place to take people. But anyway, this is going to be going up, and it's kind of, we keep moving westward with what we consider to be downtown. Film Row, which at one point in the not too distant past was Skid Row for Oklahoma City, has really changed, and it's continuing to change and continuing to develop. Now, and Steve also wrote about another project that's going on if you go east from downtown. Bricktown's over there, and kind of Bricktown sort of ends at Lincoln Boulevard. Well, there's a guy building a hotel just east of Lincoln, which is actually a little bit east of what you'd normally think of as Bricktown. Again, kind of to get people thinking about where we are. This is east of Bass Pro Shops on Reno. He's already building one hotel there. He wants to build 3 more hotels on this same plot of land. And Steve did a little back of the envelope addition and came up with there's 23 hotels either built or under construction or planned in Bricktown, which is amazing. It's an
again,
amazing
driving through Bricktown last week and just all the development on that northwest or northeast side of Bricktown, just massive. Just housing, parking garages. It's just transforming the look of the place.
Well, downtown just continues to grow, and I mean, it's gone north. The Midtown area is very successful. Plaza District, which is north of downtown, is very successful. You live just north of downtown. It's a very vibrant area. Now we're going east and west, and of course we're working on this park, and we're going to be going south, going
And then
Quarter
you have the
Shore.
Wheeler District, and we're jumping to go over the river.
Right, that's right. And the reason this guy's building all these hotels is because that American Indian Cultural Center is going to be built. Reno and Eastern is the closest intersection to that. He thinks that as you go east down Reno, it's going to develop as that place opens and gets closer. We're going to see more and more development along there. And that strip of Reno is metal recycling centers, abandoned junkyards, and it's going to be transformed, he believes.
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned the live music venue that's going to open, and then we had a story this week about who some of the opening acts might be.
Yeah, I think it
playing
was
in the live venue.
He was looking forward to hosting either
didn't I hear
Willie
Willie
Nelson,
Nelson?
Michael McDonald, or Kings of Leon.
As the
Fred Hall is wanting that to open the Jones Assembly. So
Right.
I want them all on one concert ticket. Obviously, I think you'd get a.
Take us back to summer.
Yeah, they're really hooked into Nashville, and I think Graham Colton is involved in the project, and obviously he has a lot of connections, and as do others that are involved in it. So, yeah, that's going to be a big success, I think. I mean, it's the kind of music, the kind of venue I think that Oklahoma City people will like, because the Criterion, again, going back east into Bricktown, East Bricktown, you have the Criterion, which has really been a success, I think. You've been there several times, and I think they've drawn good crowds, and they've got good acts. And
I'll be curious to see how
people seem to
those
like
two
the place.
balance each other out, because they're very much, they seem to be very much in the similar vein of size, almost that they almost sort of look the same in many ways from the outside.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know, how they'll be able to, are there enough acts that'll fill both venues? Just curious.
We'll see. It'll be an East Side versus West Side venue battle.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good battle, I guess, to have.
Yeah.
So, again, these are the kinds of stories that we publish every day in the Oklahoman. That you can read about on newsok.com. Pick up a paper, subscribe. We'd love to have you as a reader. We'll see you again next week. Thanks a lot.